Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to talk RV stuff, but from here in the garage. And what I want to talk about is what I have behind me here. And this is RV supplementary heating. So what I have here are three space heaters. And like I said, I'm talking about the RV, so this doesn't necessarily represent the RV. Obviously, in an RV, most RVs have a furnace, and the furnace runs on propane, and that does great. It does an awesome job. But if you have ever stayed in a cold night, you can run through a bottle of propane in a day if you're running your furnace and keeping, let's say a 25 plus foot RV warm. Small RV you might get away with better, especially if it's insulated well. However, the experience that some have had when we've stayed in cold weather is other people running off of these and running our old 33 foot travel trailer was that the propane does not last at all. Now this one is here just as a demonstration. I've never used this one in the RV. I would not recommend this in an RV. Probably not even safe in the RV, but I put it here just because it's the other one I have here. Now these other two I have used in the RV. The first one, we stayed in some sub-freezing nights for about a week, and I actually used both of these, and they both did fine. Obviously, this one here we ran on the lower settings, so as not to pull too many amps. I don't know the exact. I could probably check the watts on this. So we've got a 1500 watt and a 1300 watt, and I kept it low at 1300 watts when it was running in there. But as you can see in this one, it's got heating coils and a fan. So the fan does really well at blowing the heat around in somewhere where you want it. But these heating coils get hot. Now this is a fairly safe. Heater. It does have tip over protection. So if it were to tip over, obviously, as you can see here, it has these little arms, and those arms will protect it. If it tips over and it's on carpet, it's gonna stay off the ground. So hopefully to prevent a fire. But what it will do is there's a switch inside that as soon as it tips over, it turns off. But those coils are still going to be hot, so you have to keep them off the ground, prevent that from starting a fire. So I think the fire hazard risk, especially in a small enclosed RV space where fires are a problem, that one is not necessarily recommended. Before I go into the best one, my favorite one, I will talk about another propane one that runs off the little green bottles. Some of them are called the Buddy. I think the Buddy heater. I saw another one at Lowe's. I think it was a Craftsman version that said it was looked identical, but it said it was indoor safe. And I've seen videos of people who have turned them on and slept overnight in an RV with it. While I would trust it, I don't think my wife would let me leave something like that on in the RV, and she would not trust it absolutely at all. If I did it, I would probably like to have a propane leak detector and also a carbon monoxide detector on to make sure that I wasn't, gonna kill myself at night. So you want to be careful with the propane. Obviously, the propane can explode if it's leaking propane. So that's why you want the propane detector. That's probably the biggest one, even though it burns clean and it says it's not going to create carbon monoxide. This one, I would think, would do something like that. This one gets red hot in the front, and I mean, in a pinch, if you need to heat it up, if you're working in your RV, during the day in the cold to do repairs, this one might be okay if you've got it well ventilated, but otherwise, and I've used this one here in the garage, but I would not turn it on in the RV. It gets extremely hot. This whole little grid there is just glowing red when this one's on. Yeah, I would not use that one in the RV. Just a side note, not that little piece of those pieces of wood there that's actually a perfect little platform to fix U-joints. So I built that and replaced some U-joints in my Jeep, and when you set the sides of the U-joints down and you hit the knuckle, it actually fits perfectly, knocks them out. But back to the heater. So this is this one here is my favorite heater. Now there's a couple of different variants of this one. I think we got this one at Lowe's like 5 or 6 years ago. I don't know what the wattage is. Maybe it'll say here what the wattage is. So this one's only 1500 watts. So this is a 1500 watt heater. Obviously the other one here is 1500 watts as well. But this one's fully digital. It has a full digital thermometer. You can turn it up, you can turn it down. It has an eco setting to use less power. It is a phenomenal heater. I think we've used other ones that have a dial on them. Also extremely efficient. The first RV we used this in was a Wildwood 2019 QBXL, not a cold weather RV at all. And I will tell you that this heater basically kept the furnace off all night in 30-degree weather, and it kept the RV close to 70 degrees. And at times, if you're in 30 or 40-degree weather, this will get too warm, so you have to turn it down, and your furnace will never kick on. This will work, and if you really want to, you can put a fan in front of it. That is a crazy forced air fan. You don't have to have anything like that, but if you put another fan, it will give you some extra air as it blows across this heater. But it's just a radiator heater, and it does have the radiators inside here. So you've got all these fins, and the great thing is it gets hot. I think if you left your finger on it, you could probably get second-degree burns, first or second-degree burns, maybe second-degree burns. But if you can hold your hand on it when this thing is on, and you're not going to burn yourself, or you can touch it for a few seconds without the first-degree burns, or maybe any burns. So you can also probably, I would say you'd be able to drop a towel on there, or a curtain on there, and it's not going to catch on fire because it doesn't get hot enough to catch on fire, which is awesome. And there's no external flame. I'm assuming there's a heating element inside of there that heats up the oil, but there's no flame. This thing just does an amazing job. So of any heater, especially why we like this heater is because we don't use propane. We almost always have full hookups. So when you've got full hookups, so you're running off the generator, this heater is amazing. It'll save your propane, and it'll keep you warm at night, I promise. And we're going to use it in our RV this weekend. So we have stayed, like I said, we had the RV parked in freezing temperatures for about a month. We stayed in it for a week or so, off and on, almost a week straight once as we were moving. We have used this last year when we went to Central Virginia up in the mountains for a week, and for a few days. There was snow on the ground. It was in the 20s, and the furnace barely ever kicked on with this thing, keeping our Class A warm. And the Class A, our Thor Class A does a really good job. So the Thor Class A actually, I think has better cooling, or I'm sorry, better insulation than our last RV, than the travel trailer. And we've never had a problem with breakers or anything else like that. So this is our recommended heater for your RV. This is what I use. This is what I would recommend, especially if you are not using propane and you're staying in your RV. This will keep it at a temperature, the perfect temperature, I think, and save propane and save money, especially if you're at a campsite with full hookups. This one does okay, probably a little bit cheaper. These are a little over $100. Those are what, 30, 40 bucks. And then this one is just sitting here for show. I would never use that one in an RV. All right, thanks guys. Hopefully this educated you on a heater that you might want to use for your RV, and you can go find one of these and use one for yourself. Thanks for watching.